Hey guys, welcome back to another Jurassic World review. It's Brendan the Paleo Dude, and today we'll be taking a look at the 93 Classic line. So these ones are now out in Canada. I've only seen the Dr. Grant set though. I'm not sure if the Ian Malcolm set has come out here, but I actually got these a while back at Target when I did one of my previous runs down to the States, but I have been putting it off for a while. As you can see, they're already open. But I don't know why it's taken so long to review them. I thought, why not do it now? I've got a little bit of time on my hands, so these sets are some of the best Mattel has ever made. It definitely fixes the whole figure problem in terms of whether or not they were deciding to continue releasing humans individually or make dinosaur sets. Now they have gone full-on set mode with capture gear and weapons, and I absolutely love it. The stylization of these figures is also really cool. The colors themselves really do a great job at matching the original Kenner figures, and some of the small nods and tie-ins and relations to the original weapons and gear and stuff is just insane. So we're going to go over them in detail. I've got quite a lot of things to compare. So we'll start off with the human figures. The Dr. Grant figure actually comes with a pair of binoculars, which is very Chap May-esque. So the Dinosaur Planet sets and the Dinosaur Valley sets, a lot of the human figures would come with these binoculars. And I've never seen Kenner or Mattel. I've seen it once. I think What's Her Nuts has a pair of binoculars, actually. Let me go check. But it's not something you see very often in the Mattel lineup, or at all even, and Kenner did it at least once. Oh no, it's not a pair of binoculars, it's a camera around the neck. So I wasn't expecting it at all. Thought maybe they'd do something like that for the Hammond collection line, because it's not really a toy-esque sort of thing, but it's just neat and a strange addition nonetheless. You can see he's also got this armor vest on, and that is somewhat similar to what the figures would have in the Kenner lineups with the backpacks and stuff. But it's very interesting that it's armor instead of just like a backpack. But I think that's really neat because he comes with the little raptor, and while handling, it would be good to have an armor pack. So that's a cool detail. You can see on the back there's these two little slots, and this is kind of rubbery, so it's easy to take off. I'll actually remove that. And his binoculars. And then it comes off the front like that. And then you can see, yeah, it clips together. Very very rubbery, and a single color, no paint. Obviously that makes sense, as it's a rubber piece, paint would come off. You can see they painted a zipper on the front, where the original does not have a zipper, but it does have a little pocket. This figure does also have a little pocket that the JP tag is clipped to. They did not add the JP tag on this figure. The hats are relatively the same color. You can see the pants are a vastly different green, but it still works nonetheless. I think this more suits the Legacy Collection grant that we got. Let me go grab that guy. I was supposed to have him with me right now, but wasn't fully prepared. So let's grab Grant and Malcolm off the shelf. Here we go. So here we have the original Legacy Collection grant, and you can see the green's a bit more closer to the original, but you can see they do add the knee pads to the legs, the pants, and the boots, totally different color, but similar detailing nonetheless. And then of course he has the sleeves down to the elbow, and then the hair coloration is the same. So that's very neat, that's very cool. They did a great job on his figure, lots of details. He even has little like walkie-talkie in his back pocket. The little raptor itself is green. it kind of looks like the Kenner original one in terms of stance. Not really. I think the original has its hand out. Let me see. So here we have... They're round. Yeah, it's actually pretty short. But it makes sense because the Kenner lineup is scaled up and this Mattel lineup scaled down. But they have some similarities. I like the tail length. But yeah, just the stance is kind of similar. Its mouth is closed though. I do like this scale, and I do like that they didn't make it just a smaller version of a raptor. They actually gave it some juvenile proportions, which is really nice. Let's see, the weapons. Okay, so we've got this grabby claw thing, and I think we've seen something similar before in the Kenner lineup. In the Series 2, I'm pretty sure someone had a claw like this in yellow. So that's really neat. It just has a simple sort of push thing where it goes forward, and then it can claw around the baby raptor, which is a cool feature, like that. And then it has those hooks to kind of hold in, and it can also go around the Gallimimus, like the neck, to hold it in place. So that's a really neat sort of capture gear item. And it's also really cool that it's colored similar to the grapple hook that Ellie had in the 1993 Kenner lineup. It seems like a lot of these weapons are a mashup between Wave 1 and Wave 2, or Series 1 and Series 2, and then there's some Lost World elements also implemented in some of these, which we'll go over soon. And then also, speaking of the grapple hook, they have a recolored one. This one's blue, and instead of 3 hooks on it, it has 4. But what's neat is it has this kind of crossbow looking armature, and when you press the button, this snaps forward and back. So you can see, if you pay attention to the string, when you push this in, it goes back and these bend. And then that is partially what also launches it, but I'm sure there's a spring in there as well. But yeah, that's super cool. I love it. And you can see it's got the little string holding it on here too. These are oversized. These are the size of Kenner weapons, but of course the figures themselves are not Kenner scale. They're a lot smaller. But I think that's really cool. It adds to the playability, even though these are like comically massive weapons. But they still fit in the hands of the figures, and the figures can sort of stand with them like nose down for support. But they can still stand with them nonetheless, so that's pretty cool. Love those 2 weapons. Love that we get 2 weapons in this set. And then the capture gear is awesome. It's totally a throwback to the original Kenner figures. You can see the chains in between, big cuffs. So this one goes around the legs of the Gallimimus, and they're fairly rubbery, so of course there's a lot of give for them to go on. And they're very much multi-purpose. You can put them on other dinosaurs too. Great for large ones, those leg things, or for even like arms and whatnot. But these are meant to go around the arms, little cuffs to restrain them. And then there's a little head piece here, and you can see little eye holes. So you can fully restrain the Gallimimus. Those are really neat. This is very unique. Original Kenner figure of the Gallimimus did not come with something similar. I think it just came with the leg pieces like this. But this is a whole new edition. You can see we've got something similar with the original Series 2 Dilophosaurus, where it has those chains kind of linking the arms and the legs together, where this one's the arm and the head. I really like that. Very cool. The Gallimimus itself is painted similarly to the Camp Cretaceous Gallimimus. It actually has a darker shade of kind of purpley blue on the back, just slightly darker. It could also be the type of plastic is presented on, but the red is almost the same color. And it's a pattern that's a bit blotchy. This one seems to be more of like a solid, sharper edge pattern all the way down to the head and the neck. You can see they gave it a yellow eye, whereas on this one it's got a really nice black eye. I think that's another really awesome sort of detail that falls back on the fact that a lot of the original Kenner dinosaurs, especially like the herbivores, have a solid black eye. Baby raptor, for example, a lot of the baby dinosaurs had black eyes. But it's neat to know that the baby Gallimimus actually has a yellow eye with the pupils similar to the Camp Cretaceous one. But you can see, yeah, the coloration on the back with that reddy pink and then the purpley blue is very much the same, except for it has this more like orangey color instead of a beige. I don't have the adult Gallimimus, it's very expensive, but eventually when I do have it, I'll do another comparison video of these two. So the Gallimimus is awesome. It fits in really well, has like the neck articulation and everything. Of course, it's the same mold as the original Legacy Collection Galley with the running feature. This one doesn't have any feature, it's just a basic figure with articulation on the legs, arms, and head. But usually articulated galleys, they follow this sort of design if they're not the baseline figure. But I think due to obviously the box sets being able to use whatever scale they want to fit in there, instead of using the basic Gallimimus from the Fallen Kingdom line, they went with this one, and it's the perfect choice because the proportions are a lot more nicer. And of course, obviously, it's just a tad bit smaller than the Hammond collection one. So now that's Grant's set, let's move on to Ian Malcolm's set. So let's compare him to the original figure. This one is the Legacy Collection. And you can see they actually painted his kind of necklace on that, whereas he's kind of got a black shirt underneath his shirt, and they did no paint job whatsoever. I think besides his belt buckle. That's pretty crazy. And his glasses are similar. I think the heads are the same. They actually, I think they this one has some sharper cheek features. This one, it's a bit dulled down. And it's like a lighter black. It's not as like dark or shiny. And then he's got these gloves, which I think the Lost World figure has, but you can see the Series 2 Malcolm figure has a similar glasses and outfit on as well. He also has a little pocket, and I think, yeah, this guy has the pocket as well in there. And then the backpack is really neat because they have the same green feature on it with these two tubes on the back. You can see there, this one's got handles and then a little thing there. Same with this one. That is really neat. I love that they continued that kind of see-through transparent green on his gear. They even did that with his weapon too, having the kind of missile-looking thing on the front in the same green. And again, like I was showing you in the beginning, that is also similar to his original weapon from the 1994 lineup, the Series 2 lineup. You can see they have a similar grip to them, with this thing sticking out the back. This one has like a scope or something, but it's a very similar build. This one has this kind of, I don't know, these three things that stick out the front. And I think what that is it holds on to the dinosaur, and this pierces and it like administers something, maybe like tranquilizer or like, I don't know, medicine. But when you hit that button, it shoots out, and then when it hits the dinosaur, the impact pushes this thing forward, which is like a syringe going into the dinosaur. So that was a really cool gimmick. You can see there's lots of holes on it too, to fit that kind of theme. Really big weapon. But this one, it does not have that feature where it kind of administers, but it does. Oh. It does shoot out at around the same force. It's more like a missile thing, but you could say it probably does the same, because it's got these three little points at the front. And it's kind of hollow right there. But yeah, really cool that it keeps the similar theme of it, and I think that works really well with like his chaos kind of mathematician sort of vibe. I don't know, I just think it fits his character very well. And then he comes with these wings that are detachable, and these are based off of the Lost World hand glider set, which is really nice. Another awesome callback. It seems like they kind of pulled out all the stops for these two figures just in case the 93 Classic line didn't continue. They wanted to add elements of the Lost World and Jurassic Park into it, which I think is really nice, but if the lineup does continue, it gives them more flexibility and freedom to implement more of the original movies' toy line features into their next packs. But I think they're just experimenting with these two, and that's why it has a very healthy mix of Lost World and Jurassic Park in it, which you can also see with the baby Triceratops. This is the Lost World 1997 Kenner Triceratops. You can see the white around the eye. It is clearly based off of that with the green. If they based it off of the Jurassic Park one from 1993, it would have had a white underbelly, kind of darker, not darker, like greener green, less bluey green, and wouldn't have had the white around the eyes. But again, it's also very similar to that guy as well, with the chubby pudge. But it fits very well in scale. They're around the same size, and same detailing. I love it. It's very cool. So this guy actually comes with a backpack, so you can grab him with that, and then he can actually hold it like a purse. So he's carrying it. And so you'd assume, I think on the back of the packaging it says something similar to he's flying in, shoots the Dilophosaurus, and then saves the baby Triceratops and flies away with it in that carrying case. So the Dilophosaurus itself seems to be based off of the Series 1, Kenner one. You can see it's got that squiggly stripe down the side. Instead they put it in orange instead of like this light green. They did not add a darker color on the top. It's got a red eye, and then some, yellow. Did I say orange? That's yellow. It's some yellow on the crest and around the eye. I like that detailing a lot. They even made that bottom jaw. And of course the frills down, like this figure has the frill down. And I think it's the same size as the mainline one. It just looks a tad bit smaller.